Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakakadash. Double honors into the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Akia Mahaloya, or I say the priest Mahaloya. Nah, it's neither here nor there. But just giving all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Just coming back to with another lesson through the Spirit. Didn't put out in transit this morning, man. I just felt through the Spirit, just needed to talk to the Most High. And just, just sometimes you have those mornings that sometimes being in the Spirit is not always doing shows or whatever you want to call it, but sometimes in prayer and fasting and just really meditating on things, man, reading, whatever it may be. Okay, but this lesson is titled Enter the Straight Gate. Okay, because this truth, you have to come in straight for it. Okay, which is no gimmicks, no guile. And what you see is pretty much what you get. Okay, oftentimes, man, we've been led that when you come in things in society, there's always some type of varnished prize behind it, But overall speaking, with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, what you see is what you get. Okay, like when the Lord said about John the Baptist, he said, what the hell you expect to see? He said, a reed shaking in the wind, something beauty? No, what you see is what you get. Okay, with John the Baptist, he was a wild man. Okay, he said he ate wild locusts, or he ate locusts and wild honey. He had a loincloth around his loins. He didn't look like a typical smooth face peckerwood in a 9-to-5 job. He didn't look like that. He just looked like a rough dude. Like Yahweh Shai says that, that we should see him, that we should not desire him, meaning that he wasn't looking like those quote-unquote angelic pictures that they put up in these Christian churches. Okay, he was just a so-called Negro or so-called black man. Okay, he looked like a typical Negro. Like if Yahweh Shai was walking the planet Earth today, he would be considered black, a so-called African-American, which were the Israelites. But they would just look at him, okay, this is just a typical Negro. What's so special about him? Okay, and that's the point. So it's not gimmicks, no gimmicks with this. A lot of camps and a lot of groups, they got sales pitches. They sell a product or they sell a doctrine to you. And the scriptures say, freely receive, freely give. Okay, we receive this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, through faith. Okay, and through a gift from the Most High, because the scriptures say everything from above is a gift from Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. So this was a gift that we received, and we didn't have to pay money for it. Okay, we didn't charge people for breakdowns. Like back in the day, you had groups that was charging, they give you 10 minutes free, and then the rest of the lesson you're being charged for it. And then on top of that, those scriptures was being broken down wrong. So you got duped twice. You paid for a faulty breakdown and you came out of your pocket with some money for it. Okay, but here it ain't about that. We tell brothers that come up to the camp, hey, just come in the right spirit, come in the right spirit, come to build, come to deal, have your mind set and arm ready to go. We ain't having brothers to come through all this gimmick. We ain't telling you gotta have a gold garment on, or you gotta have the most longest beard. Okay, you gotta be the tallest, handsomest, comeliest brother. No, we ain't telling you to come like that, because that ain't what it's about. It's about coming straight forward and being sincere about what you're getting ready to be involved in. Like the whole thing with the MOT breakdown, MOTB. That's just straightforward, man. Okay, you guys try to make that breakdown more complicated than what it really is. It's plain as day. Everybody can see that the MOTB is gonna be the new currency in the way they do things in this society. Okay, which is gonna lead to ultimate chaos and the Lord coming back to destroy America. That's straightforward. You guys want to put twists on it and say, well, no, it's not this. No, don't make it harder than what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so this is the book of Matthew 7, and I'm going to start at 13. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Right, because oftentimes us as people, off the rip, we going to try to choose the easiest path because that's the most that's commanding to our flesh, to our mental state. A lot of times, man, you want to take on the easiest jobs because it's easy money, which there's nothing wrong with that. But overall, at the same time, it's just like some things you gotta be challenged by. And when you enter in a straight gate, Every man can't crowd that. Like back in the day, high school, when that bell rung, everybody was trying to run through that freaking door at one time, and you get caught, you get trampled on X, Y, and Z. But when you have a fire drill in the midst of adversity, they have everybody lining up in a single file, okay? Because panic breeds fear, which breeds contempt, which breeds death, okay? But when you passive, or it's like not passive, but when you in a state of order, okay, in a state of being tranquil and taking your time and seeing things through, oftentimes you reap better results versus trying to bulldoze through everything, man. And that's the whole point. So entering this faith and this truth and this understanding, it's just straightforward, man. Okay, there's no gimmicks involved. The apostles say, look, the Spirit hop on you, make you a garment, go out there with the scriptures, teach what you know, and take your black ass home. Okay, and it's just as simple as that. Why make it harder than what it is? Also saying you got to come in the right spirit. You know, you can't have your cake and eat it too. If you want to be of the world, then be of the world. If you're going to be in the faith, then be of the faith. Now, we're not saying that you can't have things as of the world, okay, because you have children, you have women. Those are things of the world, okay? Damn sure women, all right? You have businesses, you have jobs, okay? You have outside endeavors. You may have a bowling league that you may be involved in. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that to preoccupy your time. Me personally, I like martial arts. You know what I'm saying? I like gymnastics, things like that. Okay, those are worldly things, but nonetheless, it's not coming in conflict with the truth. Okay, now when you are consumed in those things and that's your everyday life, like you had this one guy by the name of Inop. He used to be part of one of the heads of the former Detroit, GMS Detroit. And basically he took a month off because he said he had to buy some property. Now, with that being said, anybody that's a savvy investor, knowing that you can invest in property and still have time to do what you got to do. It don't take a month trip to go out there and do what you're doing unless you overseas somewhere. But even then, if you overseas and you know you're going to be over there for a month, grab the garment, grab the scriptures, and take your ass on the highways and the byways and make sure you're doing your shows, man. Make sure you're praying. Make sure you're in the right spirit. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Have a relationship with the Lord. Don't just make an excuse why I had to go buy $1 million property, so therefore I dipped out on the flock. Because regardless of you dipping out, your sheep still need to eat, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was this one story that came out about this black woman. She left her child at home 6 days to go to the fucking club. She came home, her child was dead. Okay? Dead from basically being malnourished because the baby haven't ate in 6 days. So what I'm getting at, you can't leave that child unattended for that long, especially at that age. That's why we constantly pump out these shows, because the sheep need to be fed constantly, man. Jake constantly needs to be put in remembrance about what not to do, about what to do, about how to go about doing it, about what's coming, because our people, their attention span is very, very short. You could tell Jake something 10 minutes from now, 15 minutes later, they're going to forget what you said because they got so much going on in their mind. Jake is being bombarded with folly daily, okay? So trying to maintain a straight and narrow path in this truth is quite challenging, but if brothers are doing it, and count yourself blessed, okay? And it says here, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it, okay? Which is the elect, okay? Because like I said, man, this truth is one way, but you have many avenues. Straight gate, but see, it's like this. The brothers and myself, we broke down the analogy this weekend, and I'm going to go into it, 2nd Letters, the 7th chapter, but giving you a brief synopsis of it. Think about a parallel road. Every brother is walking through that straight gate. Think about a multiverse, right? Now, concept of multiverse, of course, is fiction, whatever. I think fiction is the fake. Of course, it's not real, okay? The scriptures doesn't solidify it. Now, you do have different realms, but let's just say a multiverse theory. You have a planet Earth here, you have a planet Earth there, right? Now, what they have in common, they both are the same type. Planets just exist in different dimensions. So look at the straight gate as each brother is going through the same straight gate. It looks the same, but each brother's trial and tribulation is different. Now we're walking side to side on our own path because we can't fit on one road. So I look to my left, that brother's walking through the same straight gate, but his life may be slightly different from mine. But when you look across the field, you see the pot of gold, or you see the kingdom in gold, but the dangers that's set before that. That's kind of like what it is, okay? And brothers are going to go through their own things and bouts of depression and upside downs and stuff like that in order to make it on the other side. Okay, that's why it says here, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth to life, it be few that find it. That means that a lot of people are not going to make it. A lot of people that's in the know. It's a lot of men that's not going to make it in his faith, man. It's possible that we may not even make it, but see, we have a vote of optimism. That's why we call ourselves the hopeful elect. Because I'm not going to sell myself short on salvation. I'm not going to do that. But then again, I'm not going to boast and say I know I'm going to make it, because I don't know. I'm hoping, but I'm not going to sell myself short if I'm in a race and I'm in this fight. And I encourage you brothers, don't sell yourself short either, man. Because if we're not of the hopeful elect, then who else is claiming that? Because the other camps don't push the elect. Only the men of the great millstone and the respective camps that follows us push the hopeful elect. Okay, so keep that in mind, brothers. But anyway, let's go into straight. Straight goes into the word stenos, the Greek word, and it means narrow or straight. Simple. Okay, just narrow and straight, plain as day, right? All right, so this is the book of 2nd Esdras 7, and I'm gonna start at verses let's start at verses 3, and it says, and I said, speak on my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place, that it may be deep and great. But put in the case the entrance were narrow like a river. Who can go into the sea and look upon it and to rule it? Because rivers are very unstable. Rivers have certain times of the day that the undercurrent may be non-existent, but you may have a bottom current or a top current. Then, you know, it switches up because rivers are constantly flowing. Okay, which makes it unfathomable to conquer. River, living waters. That's why the spirit, if this truth, is rushed out like waters, because you can't contain this truth. There's just so much being bombarded at you at once. It's like, if I watch, I got every video, every freaking day, I'm putting at least 4 or 5 videos on watch laters. I got videos on watch laters list from 3-4 years ago that I haven't even watched. It's impossible. If I try to watch every video, I would literally be watching new videos until the kingdom come. I would never get anything done. You know what I'm saying? I just won't get nothing done at all. All right. But he said here, then who can look upon the sea and to rule it? And if he went not through the narrow, how could he not come into the broad? Right. So if you didn't go through the narrow, how you going to get the good things ahead? Because the scriptures even tell you that even our righteous will suffer straits. Like right now, brothers are suffering straits, going through car problems, marital issues, children issues, bodily illnesses, man, mental illnesses, okay, demons are plaguing the mind. These are all straits that the men of the Lord will suffer. Loss, grief, these things come along with it. And it says, there's also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of all the good things, but the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and in the left a deep water. And the only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man that go in but once. Okay, and this is why I gave the analogy of the multiple roads. Okay, because let's just say that, and we all walking on that same road together, we like holding hands, but I use the analogy that I'm looking to my left and the brothers walking the same path, because my road to travel is particular setup in my life is written for my story. This brother's role is written for his story, and this is the reason why I gave the multi-dimensional breakdown of that, to give you brothers a clear depiction that none of our trials won't be the same, though they may be similar in nature, but they're not going to be the same, because your trial is based on the individual. You see? And reading on here, it says, the entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And the only path between them both, even between the fire and water, so small that there could be only one man that go at once. And if this city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never should pass the danger set before it, how should he receive this inheritance? Right? So it's like you go out your way to find good. Like right now when Jacob was to marry Rachel, okay, I think it was Leah and Rachel, but see what happened was Laban put him to work for another 7 years, I believe. Okay, now we don't know what type of hell Jacob caught in the midst of that, because technically he's supposed to get the one he wanted and work for it and bounce, but he got supplanted of that, and he had to be forced and tricked into working an extra couple of years to get the one he really wanted. So I ain't no telling what type of mental debilitation that was put on Jacob at the time, man. Okay, but he worked and he went through whatever he had to go through in order to get his wife, because it was set up in prophecy, and that's just one example. Same thing when Abraham had to sojourn from the Ur of Chaldees, okay, to a land that we didn't know, Okay, how he had to leave a land of idol worshipers to sojourn to be a father of a great multitude. Okay, same thing when Jacob and Esau. When Jacob came before Esau, basically he had to greet him with a bow and with a kiss, because he just knew that Esau wanted to take him out. Okay, so there's many examples that men of the Lord had suffered straight things and didn't see the full benefit at the end, okay, which is the instant gratification behind it. But overall, you know, reaping the benefits of the kingdom of heaven. Good example is Matthew's 19th chapter, when Peter asked Yahushua, he said, well, look, we have forsaken all to follow you, so what should we have therefore? And Yahushua told him, he said, well, look, those that follow me in the regeneration, it means the reincarnation, the next life, shall sit with me judging on 12 thrones, judging the tribes of Israel. That wasn't at that time. So that was a whole falling away first, getting redispersed, losing our heritage, getting the hell beat out of us, being broken in half, heartbroken, destroyed, just to come back to where we at now. So yes, man, it's a process. And it says, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then he said unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. Because for their sakes I made the world. And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was that decree that is now is done. So now, in order to get back to God's status, we got to go through hell to get back into that Garden of Eden state, so to speak. Because remember, we were kicked out of the garden, and it says that the 4 swords on both sides, all 4 sides guarded the garden, which were angels. Now we're getting back in the graces of the Lord to get back, put spiritually in that garden, okay, and having everything back in righteousness. So anyway, brothers, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to the hopeful elect. And with that, Shalom and a Baba Ball. Shalom.